All righty. Hello, ladies. Joy Jackson here with Speaking of Joy, and I am so excited because, as you know, we're getting ready for the Renewal Retreat. And one of the things that I am doing is I am introducing you to every one of my dream team. That's what I'm calling these ladies. They are a part of the Renewal Retreat Dream Team. And I have someone here super duper 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 special to me in so many ways than one. We're going to talk about all of that, and you'll get to see her, meet her, and know more about her. But I want to introduce you to Christy Staples. Hey, Christy.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
Oh, listen, thank you so much. First for saying yes to the retreat, and then saying yes to do this, y'all. It's so much to talk about with Christy. I'm gonna share a quick story before we get started because I don't know if you even remember this, Christy. So when I was doing Speaking of Joy and I started back in the back, I was struggling. Like I was like, Lord, I don't know nothing about being an entrepreneur. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how I'm supposed to do anything that I'm doing. So Lord, you're gonna have to figure it out. And I was sitting in the nail salon and I had been low key stalking Christy, like, because we went to church together. So I knew her, right? I knew her. She has a servant's heart. And so I knew her. And I was admiring the work she was doing because I didn't know anybody local who was doing what I was doing or doing something similar. I didn't know anybody who was just, killing the game in any way. Like I didn't even know how to start. I was sitting in the nail salon and Christy sent me a message on Instagram that said, "Hey, I see what you're doing. Keep up the good work." And I was like, "Oh!" And at that moment, I was like, she doesn't have a clue how important that message was to me. And then she blessed me with the opportunity to come to one of her workshops that was truly a game changer because from there, she became a coach, my real good friend, my
Uh-huh.
cheerleader, and all those things. So
Mhm.
this is super full circle and special to have you here with me, Chrissy. So I just had to share that story because I got to tell you how instrumental you have been to the work that I do in Speaking of Joy. So publicly, in front of all the people that's going to see this, thank you so very much.
You are so welcome. And I do remember that day
Yeah.
because I remember starting to see you in my timeline and my feed more. And I said, oh my gosh, Joy is doing it. And I know how hard it is to step out and create something out of nothing.
Yeah.
And every time God puts somebody on my heart that's an entrepreneur, I make sure I reach out to them. If I don't have that direct phone number, I try to do social or some way to get in contact with them to say, hey, I see you, meaning that God sees you and keep going. Because I know I'm just a messenger.
Yeah, well, and it was divine because it was me literally in the nail salon crying, like, Lord, this is too much. I don't know what I'm doing. And so just be mindful, ladies, with when God places people on your heart, right? Because you never know what they've been praying for, and you may be the answer to the prayer. So that's just a public service announcement, public spiritual announcement. So let's get into this conversation. I start every conversation the exact same way. And this is for you. Who is Christy?
Christy is changing, she's evolving.
Mhm.
She is coming into the identity of who she is supposed to be. I recently went through a huge life transition. And I joke with it about my mom. I'm saying it's like you have to discover who you are at this point in life. And so that's where I am. I am discovering who I am as a 43-year-old woman who moved her mom in with her and we doing life together. And that's who I am at this particular moment. I'm evolving. My main goal right now is to fall heavily in love with myself.
Yeah.
That's who Christy is at this particular moment in life.
Awesome. So okay. So tell us about the journey of like falling or identifying that you need to fall in love with yourself. Take us on a journey of how you've gotten to who you are today and what pivotal moments happen, what things happen. Because the retreat is about renewal. So this sounds like a renewal for you. So
Mhm.
tell us about how that journey has been and kind of some of the good things and some of the lords.
So I will start off with what I was feeling that gave me this unction. I was going through life and going through life seemingly well, but I knew I was living below my potential. I knew I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. I knew I had never leaned all in giving Christy 100% of Christy, because my attention was always divided, right? It's always easier to put the spotlight on your clients or your family or your friends, or to do those things, right, that procrastinate and allow us to sit in fear.
Yeah.
So I am being all things to everyone. And I just got to a place where I was just simply burnt out. I didn't have another yes in me.
Mhm.
And I said, okay, Christy, we need to change. This ain't right. It just doesn't feel well, right? Because you're out there in the forefront, you're out there doing things, you're out being called upon, but your bank account is negative. You are tired, you're overwhelmed, you are always feeling like you're behind. I mean, like in client work and everything, I'm like, why am I always feel like I'm lagging behind? And it was because I wasn't putting me first. I was not having days where I didn't have to wake up to a meeting. I mean, at one point in my business, I would literally go to bed with my computer. I have a king size bed. I will put the computer under the second pillow, go to sleep, a couple hours, your mind's still going because you got all these things that you need to finish. You always, because you're behind, and you're overwhelmed. I will wake up in the morning. I will get my computer, start back working. Sometimes it would be like 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon before I would even get up and brush my teeth. And I said, no, this is depression. This is depressing life. And it was the low of the low that I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't, because going the extra mile for clients, and then it was like a slap in your face. Oh, well, change this, do that. And I'm like, baby, you got this for free, So I started to really evaluate where I was spending my time and what I was doing, because it wasn't yielding the results I desired. And I said, no longer can we do this. I said, I have built a business that I hate. In turn, I have a life that I hate, because I wasn't working out. I wasn't eating properly. So I was ballooning and my weight was going up, and I said, it got changed. So last year, this is what I did personally. So last year I called up my old trainer. I said, can I come back home? I said, can I come back home? Now, I've never trained with anybody else, because a lot of people don't know how to train tall girls. And so he's always trained me, and I've never been hurt. So getting back with my trainer was the first part of me transitioning my personal life to reach my potential, to feel fulfilled, to, go on this renewal. I knew it started with my body, because every time I go into a discipline mode in working out, it spills over into my other life. Like it's like if I could start back working out, and I only committed to 2 days a week, because he's like 45 minutes away. I only committed to 2 days a week. What that did for me was, in my Mel Robbins voice, it gave me points of joy in my life. That was the start. It said points of joy. So now I'm out around other entrepreneurs. Now I'm outside of the house. Now I'm getting some sunlight. Now I'm moving my body. Now I have something to look forward to. Now I'm meeting new people. So just going to the gym 2 times a week pulled me out of that fear-based procrastination. And then you start to get stronger. You start to lose a little weight. You start to be defined. You start to, like, that double chin is starting to leave, right? So then your confidence start getting up, because at the end of the day, my confidence was shot, because, and I love Ed Milet's definition of confidence. It is believing in yourself and not giving up on yourself. So when you continue to give up on you and not do what you said you were going to do for you, your confidence goes down. But the moment you start, oh, I accomplished this, I said I was going to do this, I accomplished that, your confidence starts to rise. And so as my confidence started to rise, then I was able to tackle other areas in my life. Now, I'm a habit stacker, so I ain't going to do but one thing at a time. I ain't going to try to do 5 things at one time. I ain't finna try to pay off debt and save money at the same time. I ain't going to do it. I ain't going to do it. And so, and once I started to get disciplined in that area, of course, it spilled over to my other areas. So now I'm become more disciplined in business. I'm disciplined on my boundaries. These are my hours of operation. I'm not answering DMs, calls, all that stuff after hours. One of the best things I ever did too was put my phone on automatic do not disturb at 10 o'clock at night, and it doesn't go off until 9 o'clock in the morning. That was a game changer for me. Really? Because clients will be calling, emailing, inboxing after those times, and the same thing in the morning. And so once I got out of that,
Yeah.
like the first level, right? So then I said, okay, God, now I'm ready to tackle this business. And so I started petitioning the Lord in January. I said, God, well, like December. So December, January of last year, this year, I was like, okay, God, you got to give it to me. What am I missing? Where's the change? Because I knew it was a pivot coming. Because every area in my life, when I accomplish things, I have like a 2-year cycle of mastery. So it takes about 2 years to master a thing, right? So I'm in my business now, full force, totally sold out for about the last 5 or 6 years now. So I'm like, okay, where's this pivot going? Because I'm being pulled to do more consulting work. People ask me to coach them. And it was more than just graphic design. So I'm like, okay, where are we pulling to? So I rested in December. I rested in January.
Good.
And at the end of January, my mentor had her first event. I said, I'm gonna come support you, whatever you need. I'm gonna be the muscle, whatever.
Yeah.
I went there. I said, now with the caveat, I said, I'm coming to support you, but I'm also coming to receive. And so I wrote down before I left what I needed to receive from the Lord. Up until the last day, we on the whiteboard and she mapped out my next 90 days. I said, got it. It's clear. So then I start to go through this whole rebrand, and I just relaunched my website on Friday. And this is the first time my website actually says what I do.
All right. And so, okay, what do you do? What do you do? Let's pause right here. What do you do?
So I work with authors, coaches, and speakers, and I help them to make more money, increase their impact, and expand their thought leadership. What does that mean? That means you should be making money in at least 3 different ways. You should be a triple threat. If they invite you in to speak, you should be able to sell a book or your coaching and consulting program in the back, and vice versa. It should just be a revolving circle. Infinity. Boom, boom, boom. Make the money. So that's what I do.
Yeah, listen. Okay, so let me tell y'all this. And Christy does it well. Now, I'll be honest. When I started with Christy, I was all over the place, right? And she let me, baby, your patience is patience. She let me be all over the place. And she would slowly just, I'd go to the left, she'd drive me back in. But as far as thinking of possibilities and potential, that's a gift you have. Because a lot of people can't see, you can't see the forest for the trees. So you can't see beyond what it is you're doing. But you would expand my thoughts to, well, what about this? Well, what about this? And then there would be days, because Chris y'all hear me always talk about my coach. This her right here, right? This her right here. And listen, I would cry half the time because I was in a different place too. So I understand the pivot. I understand that, because when I started, I was going to be a solo entrepreneur. This was all I was going to do. And Chrissy was the first person to tell me, maybe you ought to get a job, like in a nice way, but had me thinking like, you know, you can't be happy if you can't make money, right? You can't take care of yourself. And so it was that practicality that got me to thinking like, okay, God, what is it that you want me to do? How do you want me to show up? And it was, you don't realize the power that you have and how you coach and consult. Like, don't listen, honey. You need a testimonial. Take this right here and put this out there, because the truth. I mean, it's practical, it's loving, but you're on the journey with us, and that is the beautiful thing that you've provided me. So, and I've seen your growth. So let me publicly applaud you, because you always. I think. Let me say this. I think when you and I started working together, it was already there. You just hadn't said, this is it, right? So Chris is a beast on design, y'all. Now, I'm not telling you to DM her about design, but she's a beast with design. A lot of what y'all have seen from Speaking of Joy was Christy's design, from my book covers. I mean, she's done it all. I mean, all of it. Listen, okay, all the things. And so this one, I just asked her before we got on this call. This was my first real design by myself. And I was like, Christy, how you think I did? She was like, you did good. So I feel good. I feel accomplished. But when we started, I could see that there was so much more, right? That I was not even close to the type of client that God had called you to, but you walked me through the journey. Like you were everything I needed you to be. And so I am so grateful. This is just my personal love letter to you. I am so grateful for that. But if you all are looking for, this is my also plug. If you're looking for someone, and ladies, I'm talking to you, and not even just from a perspective of her being your coach, but just follow her and listen to her and see her stories. Because one thing about Christy, you're going to get it all. I'm putting this up right now, y'all, so y'all can have it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There it is right there. But if
Mm-hmm.
you want to see somebody on a journey who shows you their journey, this is the lady that you want to be connected to, because yeah, she's a gem. Okay. So back to you. But so yes, I see the journey, and I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
For the journey, because you and I were in a journey at the same time, going through some things and believing God for some things, having been hurt, trying to come out of it. So look at us now, girl, like Chris Brown. Look
Yes.
at me now.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is if you could tell the ladies who are coming one thing? I mean, you're gonna have a lot to say because you got but if there's something you could say right now as they're watching this, what would you say to them?
Don't be afraid to start. Don't be afraid to start over. A lot of us are afraid to start over because it signifies failure, or it signifies, oh, it went wrong, or it signifies, something negative. But for me, starting over is a chance to get it right. And for me, get it right is the right thing for me, because you can't always live in somebody else's dream. And a lot of us do that. We live in other people's dreams. This is who they think I'm supposed to be with, but I really mesh with this guy over here. This is what the job they think I'm supposed to have, but I really enjoy this over here. And we cannot be afraid to start over, because I look at that as a clean slate to really build and create what you desire. If you want to wake up at, 7:30 every morning and have an easy morning, then you create the life for that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Everybody doesn't have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning. You don't, So it's really digging in to really figure out who you are and what you truly desire. And that's what I've been leaning into this year. What brings me joy? What do I really like to do? What do I not like to do? How do I really want to dress? All those different questions and stuff are like swarming around in my mind, because that allows me to create a life that I enjoy waking up to every morning.
I love it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So listen, I'm not going to let y'all get everything right now, because you need to make sure that you're at the retreat, which you'll be there because you all have already registered. Tell us about the workshop that you're providing at the retreat.
So I think my workshop is so befitting, because the name of my workshop is Rebrand, Rebuild, and Relaunch Your Life. And I've just gone through that again. I'm going to tell you guys another part of my story, as we get there. But the rebranding is just what we talked about. It is your stamp on things. How do you do things? How do you want your life to be done? Right. So once you get an idea of what it looks like, then you have to build it. Right now I'm redoing my whole office, right? Because I've never really decorated my office before. But I found this girl on Instagram, and I was like, that's it. So I'm recreating that, because it's going to make me feel energetic, alive, and want to do work in my own home office, right? So now I got to build it out. And then when you relaunch it, it means simply live it. It's not become it, because it's already you. You're just bringing it out. Now you have to go and live it.
Oh, that's good. Okay. All right. So I'm not going to ask you how you live it. We're going to save that for the workshop, because I'm sure one thing about Chris, you're going to have a strategy. You're going to have some stuff, some homework, all of those things. So we're going to leave it there. Okay. So tell the ladies how they can get connected to you.
So get connected to me. I'm very, very, very social on social media. So Instagram, CL Staples, Facebook, Christy L Staples, and I also LinkedIn and everything. Same thing, Christy L Staples. That's me.
Awesome. Well, all right. So you all, ladies, I keep saying you all, but ladies, it's going to be a dynamic experience. So I'm going to tell you, like I've told everybody, invite somebody else. Share this opportunity with a sister that needs to hear this message. And if you are able, sponsor her, because what I'm finding out is a lot of women are sitting right there like, oh, I would love to come. I want to come, but they need the motivation or the little oomph to do it. So even if it's nothing more than saying, hey, I paid your deposit. It's $110. I paid half. So you just need to show up. So I encourage you to do that, because I believe by faith that this is going to be a life-changing, transformational experience. And we want as many women as God would have in the room. Because I'll be honest, when I started this, I was like, I want 20 women. That's all I wanted. A friend of mine was like, well, let's back that up and just say, God, however many women you want in the room is how many women need to be there. So now I have taken the limits off God. I have booked a second room. and we just gonna let God do it. So yeah, so I definitely am excited. I thank each of you for being there. Christy, thank you for saying yes. Another one of the ladies that I reached out to, and I was like, this is what I want to do. And before I could finish, she was like, I'm there. I'm good. Tell me what you need. So I am grateful for you answering the call for God first, because I know, of course, this was with God, but then also answering my call and saying yes. So I love you.
I
I
love you.
appreciate you, friend, and I can't wait for us to catch up.
Yes.
Outside of virtual and phone calls. And
Yes.
then I look forward to seeing you on May 3rd. So thank you so much, Christy. God
You are
bless
so
you. Hey, ladies, see you soon, okay? All righty. Bye-bye.